Should you replace your roof before selling your home? Great question. First of all, the article comes from a roofer. So automatically, you know that it's biased. We could go all the way down here real quick and check to see who this person is. James Elliott and his team of expert roofing contractors at Fort Collins Roofing Company have been helping homeowners. It's a biased article, right? So should you replace your roof before selling your home? And the answer is, it depends. If you have a newer roof or it's in good shape and it doesn't really need a lot of work, why would you replace it? Now, if you live in Texas or Oklahoma, where there's hailstorms and tornadoes and your roof gets pelted all the time, and it's normal for roofs to get replaced every 5 to 7 years, then yeah, replace it. If it needs it, if you have holes in it, or if it's at its end of life and you have massive amounts of leaks. If you know you have an older roof here in California and we don't get a ton of storms, we don't get tornadoes that often. If your roof is at the end of life and it's leaking and you're having massive issues, replace the roof. But here's a secret that they don't tell you in this article. There's a roofing contractor that will inspect it and tell you where the problems are and offer to replace or fix those tiles, whether it's stone, granite, steel, clay, or composition. I just sold a house and it had some cracked tiles. It was the cement clay tiles, and we had those replaced. It cost like $1,000. How much does it cost to replace a roof today? With standard composition, you're looking at about 15 grand for pretty much any house, medium-sized house. It's not cheap anymore. It could be $25,000. A slate roof like this probably be $100,000 because that material is super expensive and super hard to work with, and you need massive skill to be able to cut it. I would never touch a roof like that. I know how to do composition, comfortable doing that, but should you replace it? It says here you can increase your asking price after a replacement. Absolutely. But here's the thing. It's like a transparent value. It's not a value that you will see or enjoy. It's just something that is expected. As a matter of fact, there's some roofs out there that insurance companies won't cover because it makes it look old or it feels like it's old. They'll do an inspection. They'll hover a drone over your roof and take a look at it and then tell you, yeah, hey, guess what? You're at your end of life. We're not going to cover you. Go somewhere else. Or maybe it's just their excuse to get out of having policies in California. Does it increase the asking price after a roof replacement? Yes and no. It depends. Yes, here in Northern California, especially in the Bay Area, we do all the inspections ahead of time so you know what you're dealing with. As a buyer, I just did a talk at the Veterans Center at San Jose State, and we talked about that. As a buyer, you have a right and duty to know what you're buying, every nook and cranny. Other parts of the world, they don't do inspections up front. So you can't really do an as-is offer. So you can go and say, hey, my roof is maybe 10 years old. I'm not going to do a roof inspection. You can deal with it on your own, but the buyer has the right to have that roof inspection done. And if there's repairs required, you can negotiate. That becomes a negotiation thing, right? Because you didn't present that as a thing, that a negative thing on your disclosures. So speed up the sale process with a beautiful new roof. Yeah, keep lending companies satisfied with adequate roof repairs. Not just the lending companies. They're going to want to take a look at a roof repair if it's in the contract, or the roof inspection if it's in the contract. However, it's more to the point today for the insurance companies. If you have the roof inspection done, you can present that saying, hey, this thing's fine, or it's at the end of life or whatever, then the insurance company might require or recommend that you look towards getting a new roof. And roofs are like appliances. They have an end of life. They're not like walls. Unless you tear down a wall, they're there for 15 to 40 years. They have 50 and 100-year roofs. I'm not an expert in that. We always say we look to replacing your roof every 15 to 20 years as a maintenance item and as an owner. Now, if you're a renter and you're in a house and the landlord hasn't replaced it in 20, 25 years, they probably won't, just because it costs a lot of money. There's no ROI to it. It's just a maintenance thing. And it's just one of those things, unless the insurance companies goes over there and says, hey, we see that there's a major problem with this roof. You need to have that fixed. And if you haven't done so already, download the home inspection checklist. What you get for $1 million in Santa Clara County. This is on Rotor Road in San Jose, 95111. This is a little ranch, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,080 square feet, built in 1961. Here's Rotor Road. I used to live up here. It's a filter street, so it's a little busy. I can tell you from experience, because I used to drive down that road, the parking there sucks. But it's nicely painted. It looks like they painted the cabinets and put the counters on there. Yesterday we talked about cabinets. That might be the HVAC system, maybe. See, they don't know how to do homes back in the 60s. 3 basic rooms, very basic backyard, nothing to complain about, but that's what you get for $1 million. And in Henderson, that would be worth maybe $400,000, $500,000. Here you go. What you get for $2 million. This is in Almaden, maybe Cambrian, Hillsdale. Cambrian, not my listing. Piccadilly Drive, $2 million, 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 1,800 square feet, built in 1968. This house is as old as I am. Beautiful house. Oh, it has a nice pool, jumping rock instead of a diving board. I've sold many of these units. These are awesome floor plans. Yeah, nice. I like this look and feel. I like the granite. I like the wood look and feel. I'm not a big fan of painted cabinets. My kitchen's painted. I'm okay with it. It's just not my favorite thing. And then you got your Peloton or your stationary bike there. The thing about this floor plan is this can be built out to a 2,500 square foot house, all the way down to the 1,600 or 1,800 square foot that this is. And if it's a 2,500, 2,300, it'd be a 5-bedroom. So it expands and it contracts depending on what the developer wants to do. So it's a very standard floor plan. Hillsdale, Almaden Expressway. This is Cambrian area. There you go. Trump is backing off on some of the reciprocal tariffs. And it says that the Dow Jones Industrial moved up and it's helping our bonds. For some reason, the funny thing is rates actually went up. So 30-year jumbo is now 7.05. Last week we're enjoying 6.5, 6.8. And if you do a quick look today at brief quotes, these are not actual offers to lend. These are quotes with no points, $1,300 in points for a $2 million house, $400,000 down, 30-year fixed, and 780 to 50 credit score in Elm area. You're looking at 6.57 for HSBC. I don't know why they're doing so high, but that's just where they are. If you're looking at a refinance